Well, of course, Premier 7 is the place to be, and I have the news to share on what is taking place. So guess what? Make we see. Wagwan. Welcome to Premier 7, everyone. I am your host, Ryan Nelson, and today is a special video as it represents the possible replacement of Aston Villa player Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey has been around at Aston Villa for more than a year, and he is a player that fights for consistency due to injuries as one of the major concern, or he just needs some more time to adjust in the system. However, the possible replacement is that of Moussa Diaby, who was signed for Aston Villa. But guess what? Premier 7 is here on board to present you with the news. And the topic for today is all about Leon Bailey to Al Nassr, Moussa Diaby, his Aston Villa replacement. This is a transfer news. As I've mentioned before, Leon Bailey is at Aston Villa, but Moussa Diaby has signed. Two players who plays in similar position. Wherever Leon Bailey plays, Moussa Diaby can play. But does he play in the position that Leon Bailey plays better? Not to worry. I have some details to share. So along the way, I'm going to speak about Leon Bailey and Moussa Diaby news. Then I'm going to do some comparisons between both players in regards to the transfer market, one of my favorite source, one versus one. And then by way of that, there could be a possible decider as to does it make sense for Leon Bailey to be replaced? Because sometimes replacing players is the most preferable option. Sometimes replacing players is not the right thing because you need squad depth in your team. However, as you can see down below, Premier 7 is an active channel. So, as my followers, I want for you to continue watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Of course, turn on your notification bells for the other upcoming videos that I have to do. You can follow me here on YouTube at Premier 7 and also on TikTok at Premier 7 EPL. That is where I also, share a few videos and try to bring across some news as it relates to what is taking place in the world of football. And of course, it is a wonderful day, my viewers and subscribers. I do hope that you all are having an excited day, a day of peace, because a lot of teams are doing great in the transfer market. For example, Aston Villa themselves, who have purchased a few players. Special shout out to Yuri Tillemans, who was relegated with Leicester City. But based on what he can do, you know that Aston Villa wanted a midfielder additional to the players that are there. And you know that because of Yuri Tillemans' potential to play in a system that is put together by Unai Emery, he was purchased long before a Moussa Diaby. So, with no further ado, I'm going to speak about Leon Bailey and Moussa Diaby news. I want to kick things off with Leon Bailey because I have a few friends who have been speaking about this Leon Bailey situation, and I was saying to them that I'm gonna do a video on them, and they say, of course, you can do so. You just need to do some research because you have to present the news publicly in the right way, and that is what Premier 7 is always doing, promoting the news not only positively but also by way of consistency and accuracy. So, what does the news says about Leon Bailey? So, Saudi Arabian club could now move to sign 25 million pound Aston Villa player, and this was written on the 24th of this month. So just a few days ago. So Saudi Arabian outfit Al Nassr are reportedly interested in signing Aston Villa forward Leon Bailey this summer. That's according to the Daily Mail, a very popular news outlet, with the outlet claiming Bailey has emerged as a possible option for the Saudi Pro League side. I mean, Leon Bailey can play on the left hand side and on the right hand side, but his additional qualities could even contribute to Ronaldo scoring more goals. So Unai Emery has enjoyed an encouraging start to the summer window, as Aston Villa have already moved to bring in Yuri Tillemans, Paul Torres, which I have spoken about on this channel before, and Moussa Diaby. Three signings done. They are doing more signings than even Manchester City, the last winners of the Premier League. Of course, the Villains beat Al Nassr to sign Diaby last week, with the talented winger making the switch from Bayern Leverkusen. Stick a pin right there. Remember, Leon Bailey was at Bayern Leverkusen and he was replaced by Moussa Diaby. That shows that Moussa Diaby is the type of profile player who can play similar to Leon Bailey or even better. Al Nassr wanted to sign Moussa Diaby because of his excellence, his pace, his speed, his ball control, his intensity as a player who plays as a forward line player, a player who can be threatening against any opposition teams, a player who can deliver. So having an Moussa Diaby at the Pro League could have been really good, but the news showed that Aston Villa defeated them in that race. So Leon Bailey could be the possible replacement for that gap that Al Nassr wants to fill. All right, so and it seems that the Saudi outfit could now turn their attention to Leon Bailey after missing out on Diaby. So by way of concluding for a while, I think Diaby is a better profile player based on what the source is saying. So Al Nassr want Bailey. The Mail latest Transfer Confidential Newsnet claims that Bailey has emerged as a target for Al Nassr, and it's noted that Emery is searching for more consistency in his Villa side and could be willing to offload Bailey as a result. Close the source. Could use Bailey in that transfer by way of an offload. Unai Emery is definitely looking for consistency. I was on TikTok a few days ago and someone was texting me about um the dark horse of the Premier League for next season. And he asked me, what do you think about Aston Villa? Do you think they could be the dark horses of the Premier League? And I said to him, yes, because of the players that they have signed and because of where they finished last season, having had a bad start to the Premier League before. Gerrard was sacked, Unai Emery came in, and Unai Emery is a decent coach at Villarreal and at other clubs, even Arsenal before, and he has won a couple trophies. So under his belt, he's a coach that don't only have the ability to win trophies, but he can put together a team who can compete against any big team. So by way of that, I think that Leon Bailey could be off, especially if Al Nassr is forcing it, and if Unai Emery says, "Yeah, I think he can go," then you could see Leon Bailey, the Jamaican international, who recently concluded the Gold Cup competition with his country, at of the Jamaican team. In that case, you could see Leon Bailey going to the Pro League like other players, like you know, uh, Cristiano Ronaldo, who was like the first big name to go over there, in my opinion, and others who followed, like a Mendy, a Firmino. And I spoke about those players as well. Even a Red Mahrez is that possible person as well, who may be in the Pro League already to kickstart his new career. So what does the news say here about Moussa Diaby? Because he has signed for Aston Villa, and we want to shed some light on that as well. So remember that the topic for now is Leon Bailey and Moussa Diaby news. All right, so I want to give you the details as it relates to Moussa Diaby being at Aston Villa. Moussa Diaby is smiling away, not by way of showing his teeth like the coach Unai Emery, who is excited to have him at the club. So basically, Villa announced Moussa Diaby signing, a very good player, of course, without a doubt. So Aston Villa is delighted to announce the signing of French international Moussa Diaby. The 24-year-old winger joined Villa from Bayer Leverkusen for an undisclosed fee and has already linked up with his new teammates on the tour of the United States. Diaby, who has 10 international caps for France, absolutely amazing to be in the French team, and having 10 caps at 24 isn't bad, and started his career with hometown club Paris Saint-Germain, graduating from the youth ranks into the first team. Amazing. Since joining Leverkusen in 2019, his performances for the Bundesliga side, both domestically and in the Champions League and Europa League, has caught the eye of a number of clubs around Europe. He's finished last season with 14 goals to his name in all competition. And basically, it says here, welcome Musa. Again, Moussa Diaby has officially played for France in more than 8 games, 10 games to that point. Representing France and being in the ranks of Paris Saint Germain, that shows that this player is been known as someone who has quality. 24 years of age, not in his prime as yet. Have pace, have tenacity, a player who can bring a lot of power to the front line of Aston Villa. For sure, having a Moussa Diaby in the Aston Villa team is what you want because he's consistent if you compare with Alian Bailey. A lot of clubs were linked with Moussa Diaby. Let me especially point out Arsenal, who was looking to sign him. I think last year or year before last, he was the player that was hot on the Arsenal transfer list. I have an Arsenal friend as well when I was working in a call center. He was always defending his Arsenal players. And he said to me, I always want to have a Moussa Diaby. I would love for Arsenal to sign a Moussa Diaby. And no, Moussa Diaby is at Aston Villa to possibly replace Leon Bailey. So, of course, as you're seeing here, my viewers and subscribers, I have 295 subscribers, and I have to give you a big shout out. Without you, this channel videos that I am doing now and before could not be a possibility. So, what does the transfer market says about Leon Bailey and Moussa Diaby? I want to specifically speak more on Moussa Diaby in this case because I have done several videos on Leon Bailey before. I mean, Leon Bailey is, I would say, the most recognized player on my YouTube channel. So I have to give a big shout out to Leon Bailey himself, who have made Premier 7 a popular channel compared to the big dogs like the United Stands, the football terrains, and the list goes on. So what does the transfer market shows or presents on Leon Bailey? Let me give you some quick details about his profile. I want to look on his statistics as well, as it relates to last season to decide if Diaby outshined him last season. All right, let's look on Leon Bailey's profile. A very good player, I would say, for his national country, but consistency is what he struggles for. All right, so going through the details here, looking on Leon Bailey here, he's a left winger mainly. He can also play on the right wing. 25 years of age, right? Not bad for his age profile. And I think his last games that he played was for the Reggae Boys when he did not play bad at all. But I mean, I want to see him being more consistent. But come on, people, injuries and the atmosphere that players play in at times can ruin their careers. But Leon Bailey has bounced back. He has picked up a few goals for Aston Villa. So I think for me personally at this point, I don't want to say let him go to an Al Nassr so quick. He's still young. Well, Ruben Neves is young as well. He went over to the Pro League, but I think that Leon Bailey, I would love to see him playing some more Premier League games. So let me have a look here on Leon Bailey for last season. in the Premier League to see how well he performed. All right, so Leon Bailey in the Premier League, 33 appearances, 4 goals, 4 assists. I know by way of that that last season wasn't his best if to compare with his days at Bayer Leverkusen, but it could be the best season for him to kickstart things further on at Aston Villa. Looking on this area as well, Leon Bailey can even play in more position as well. Left mid, right mid. Yes, he's a left winger, a right winger, a second striker, and even a forward. That is about 6 different positions. You'll need players like a Leon Bailey in your team. I mean, some players can come from the bench at times, depending on how the game is going on, and sometimes a player can start. I mean, the thing is, I would say players who are like not only consistent but who can continuously play in the Premier League based on physicality, based on their level of fitness, is key players that you can keep. Leon Bailey to me is a player who is a bit lukewarm in regards to his prolific style of play. I mean, he's improving, but I want to see more from a Leon Bailey standpoint, improving that he can be better than his days so far at Aston Villa because he is the most recognized Jamaican footballer. He is a player who believes in his game, he's hungry for success, and giving him a chance could be the possibility because he's still at Aston Villa. So I don't want to say let him go so far because Leon Bailey, he has what it takes to be a player that can do way more than just the basic, way more. And let's have a look here on Moussa Diaby as well. What does the transfer market reports on him as an excellent player for Bayer Leverkusen? A player who has won a few trophies as well, which is amazing for him. He's a French champion at PSG. He is a winner of the UEFA Nations League for France and also French Super Cup winner. So by way of that, the number 19 at Bayer Leverkusen, you could conclude by saying right away that this guy, he's a winner basically, and that is what you need in your team. You don't only need players who are passionate or who are passion merchants, but players who can give you success, guarantees you success. And for Diaby, those 3 trophies that he has won so far is a kickstart to his brilliance and to kickstart things for him as well to be more recognized at Aston Villa if he continues on the same farm. No, he's 1 year less than Leon Bailey, and here it is: main position, right wing; other position, left wing. So I mean, these players can rotate. They can rotate. So I don't see him just coming by and just replacing Leon Bailey as that, and everything should be closed off because I mean Leon Bailey can play in different positions, just like Moussa Diaby. Moussa Diaby is left-footed, and that is the thing. Leon Bailey is also left-footed, so it's like his shadow. Leon Bailey the past, Moussa Diaby the present, or the future. That is how it looks. So I mean, he was absolutely an amazing player for Bayer Leverkusen as well. Remember, I mentioned earlier on that for him, he was a player that many teams were looking to get in. But I want to look on his statistics from last season, Moussa Diaby. Don't want to only be looking on his trophies to say that this guy is amazing, this guy is a world class player. He hasn't hit the world class level as yet, but he's a player that can hit that level very quick for Aston Villa. And of course, thank you to all those persons who are currently viewing the live feed here on Premier 7. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your watching and your listening as well. All right, so look at this now. The same amount of games, 33 games. Is this guy, Leon Bailey, what would I say now? I cannot find the word. But everything about Leon Bailey is basically the same thing about Moussa Diaby. 33 games as well, but he scored 9 goals, 9 assists. But Leon Bailey scored 4 goals, made 4 assists. So it's like an upgrade to a Leon Bailey. Look at this now. For his positions: right wing, left wing, attacking mid, second striker, left mid, center forward. How many positions is that? 6 positions. No, man. This is absolutely like a jinx. Everything that I spoke about Leon Bailey before, it's like I'm speaking about Moussa Diaby, but more in terms of being a higher profile player in that case, based on what I mentioned before. Leon Bailey, I don't think he would have feel that comfortable to be replaced at Aston Villa because I believe he wants to prove himself more. Yes, maybe he wants to go to a Saudi Arabia to make some more money, but I think that league is a league that is developing, but the Premier League is already established, and having a Leon Bailey even going to a different club then, or even working beside a Moussa Diaby for at least one season, or even more, but let me say one season, building a chemistry. I mean, those two players could even be the wingers to play alongside an Ollie Watkins. So it is not confirmed to say that Leon Bailey is leaving um, Aston Villa, but Moussa Diaby could be his replacement, and that is what I am saying here. So by way of that, I just want to say that both players are good players, but on top of that, Moussa Diaby looks like the better profile player based on what the news have even report, because Al Nassr was looking to get a Moussa Diaby, but Villa won the race, and they are looking now to get Leon Bailey possibly as that person to fill the slot. And also based on the transfer market details, Moussa Diaby looked better. All right, so one versus one player comparison. Let's now look on the statistics of these players, Moussa Diaby and Leon Bailey. So the one versus one index, Diaby is 6 ahead of Leon Bailey. That is absolutely a stinger. All right, so for Diaby, number one in key passes in the Bundesliga, number one in passing created danger, number two in expected assist, top 10 in crosses. The others can stay. Those are absolutely amazing. For it to be the number one key passer, number one passer creating danger, you are the right profile player. And for Leon Bailey, top 10 in dribblings. Basic. Well, Leon Bailey is a very good dribbler. But looking on Diaby, he's above Leon Bailey with more things. That would be a bit more exciting. If I was looking to purchase one of these players, I would say a Diaby. Now for the scouting report. All right, goals, Diaby 93%, Bailey 78. Key passes, Diaby 99.41%, Bailey 90.81%. I mean, challenge is one. Moussa Diaby 68.61%, Leon Bailey 60.6%. So in that case, Diaby is above him. Build up metrics, assist 98%, Diaby 86%, Leon Bailey. Expected assist, XA 99%, Diaby 90%, Leon Bailey. Crosses, Diaby 97%, Leon Bailey 95%. But defensively, this is the thing now that could help Bale to remain at the club. Looking at Leon Bailey defensive metrics here. So I was just having some technical difficulties a while ago. My internet, as always, for YouTubers, we went through things like these before, and now I have to just pick up from where I was. So just give me a few seconds here. Let me see where I was. Well, I was basically speaking about the one versus one with Leon Bailey and Moussa Diaby. So I apologize for the stream issue, but as I've said before or expressed before, YouTubers do go through things like these. So let me see something, just a quick second here. All right. And remember, guys, you can follow me here on Premiere 7 and also on TikTok. So just a few seconds here. All right, so let me just jump back to where I was. I was speaking about the defensive metrics for Leon Bailey and Moussa Diaby. All right, so as I was saying here, that for Leon Bailey, he had a little edge over Moussa Diaby in terms of tackling, if I'm correct in that state. Yes, 31% to 15%. Pass interception, Leon Bailey with 15%, Moussa Diaby 9%. But for block shots, well, it is basically balanced. For block shot and tackles one, then we would say here that Moussa Diaby has edged Leon Bailey on these two things. So before I close off this particular section about these two players, we're clearly seeing here that Moussa Diaby is a better option in terms of goals, shots on target, big chances, expected goals. So, I mean, in that case, even for playmaking, in terms of passing as well, Moussa Diaby is more rated as a top player compared to Ali and Bailey in everything, even the defensive details. So, by way of that, um, viewers and subscribers, we all can conclude to say that Moussa Diaby is the better profile. All right, so I was speaking about based on the topic, which was Leon Bailey to Al Nassr, Moussa Diaby, his Aston Villa replacement. The reason why I mentioned that is because of the historic evidence, whereas Leon Bailey was at Bayern Leverkusen, he left the Villa, and Diaby was the person to replace him. And now Al Nassr wants Leon Bailey, possibly for £25 million. If that comes through, then we can say Diaby replaces Leon Bailey. So on a whole, based on the comparisons that were being done, Leon Bailey is a good player, but Moussa Diaby is a better player. Unai Emery is stressing for consistency. He wants players who can deliver on a regular occasion, persons who has won trophy before, like even a Paul Torres, and now having a Moussa Diaby, and to integrate that with a Euro Tillemans. These three players, by way of comparisons, are trophy winners. I am not sure if Leon Bailey has ever won anything major, but if he has, not to that profile of these three players mentioned. So by way of that, I just want to say, um, I would like to see Leon Bailey staying at Aston Villa, even coming from the bench for some times, or even to start into some games. Because remember, consistency is a key, but squad depth is also important. So let me know what you think about this. Do you think that Leon Bailey should go to Al Nassr whilst Moussa Diaby being his replacement, or you think that these two players should stay and Unai Emery utilize them based on what he thinks is best? You can always have a say here on Premier 7 by way of dropping a comment. Do not forget to watch, like, comment, share, subscribe, and also turn on your notification bells to receive more updates about what is taking place on the channel. Of course, I am happy I was back to present the final piece of the news to you as well. And of course, with that being said here, I have 295 subscribers. I'm looking to reach 1,000 because I want to reach that level to present a lot more to the fans and to others of the public. So it is my time now to go from Premier 7 to you. It was indeed a pleasure. Take care and goodbye for now. Bye bye.